I'm Laura from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and welcome to day 1 of the Riptide Shorties. We are printing, we are cutting, we're even cutting our fabric today. Let's jump right in. So here we are. I've already done the first thing, and that is I've assembled the pattern pieces and I have cut them out. It's super easy. There's not a lot of pages. It shouldn't take you any time. We have the main shorts, we have the waistband, we have the gusset, and we have the drawstring pieces. So before we do anything else, let me encourage you to look at the size chart. The size chart is important. Measure your body, or the body of the person you're making this for, and cross-reference that to the size chart. You want to make the right size. All right, let's talk about supplies. The first thing we need is our fabric. Now I'm making two different kinds, or two different versions I should say, of this pattern. I'm making a reversible one and a non-reversible one. So I've got my main swim fabric here, and I have a lining to go with it. This is swim lining. You don't have to use swim lining. You can use swim fabric to line it. It's just, I just happen to have it, and this is nice lining. I like this lining. It feels good on. It's not itchy at all. So that's for a non-reversible shorty. And then I have another swim fabric and another swim fabric to go with this for the reversible version. I'm going to be able to talk today, I promise. But what I wanted to talk to you about were these fabrics right here. We have an awesome sponsor for this sew along, and that is the Fab Click, and or I should say the Fab Click Fabric Shop. I'm sorry. They have some really awesome fabric. I really enjoyed looking through page after page after page of beautiful fabrics, and the best part for me was they had everything I needed, and the shipping was lightning fast. I ordered it on a Tuesday, I got it on Thursday. It was awesome. I hardly ever have that experience, and it made me so happy. So if you haven't checked out the Fab Click Fabric Shop, do so now. They have all types of fabric, not just swim fabric. They have a bunch of stuff. They're pretty amazing. I'm so thrilled that they decided to be a sponsor for this week. But this is the fabric that I'm using for two different pairs of shorties, okay? The other thing we need are the typical things like thread to match, needles, the proper needles that you need, like a stretch needle, not a ballpoint needle, but a stretch needle, your sewing machine or your serger. You don't have to have a serger to do this project. You can certainly do a sewing machine, use a sewing machine. A walking foot. Let me show you my walking foot, in case you don't have one. This is from an old sewing machine. This is just a kind of universal brand. Some sewing machines will come with their own walking foot. Sometimes you have to buy them separate. I used this on an old Brother sewing machine, and it worked really well for me. I have one for my Juki that I bought specifically for the brand. But this is what a walking foot looks like. If you don't have one, it's a great investment. They're not. Sometimes you can find them inexpensive, but they're not always cheap, but they are worth the investment. So if you have a walking foot and you're using a regular machine, that's a great thing to use. The next thing is wash away wonder tape. Wash away wonder tape is awesome, and it's right here. You can buy it at Joann's, you can buy it on Amazon. Amazon even has, I think, like an off-brand that you can get like bulk. I would definitely encourage that. This stuff is wonderful. It will save your life. You can see I have an almost done finished roll here that I've been using for anything and everything, and yeah, I love it. I will never stop buying it. It's one of my favorite things. Now, let me give you a true story here. I got ready to shoot this sew along and realized I didn't have any clear elastic. So here's some clear elastic. I didn't have any. 2 days ago, I didn't have any clear elastic. So I frantically went to Joann Fabrics, and guess what? They have a shortage on elastic, and they didn't have any. So I whined to my wonderful boss, Jessica, and said, oh man, what am I gonna do without clear elastic? So she said, hey, let me see what I can do. And she mailed me, no joke, 500 yards of clear elastic. It's hilarious how much elastic is in this bag. I don't know where it begins, I don't know where it ends, but yes, it's a lot of elastic, and I got it the very next day. So she's super awesome. I kind of love her. So anyway, this is better than what you can find at Joann's. This is 1/4 inch. You can use 3/8 inch, but 1/4 inch is a little easier to handle for this project. Some people have fancy pattern weights. I just have these tiles, and they work great. I got them at the Home Depot. So yeah, they're pretty awesome. Now, something to note as you are as you're looking at this pattern piece and getting ready to cut, which rise you want. There's a low rise slash maternity rise, there's a mid rise, and there's a high rise. I'm making this for my 13-year-old, so I'm making the high rise. All right, this is fabric B, so it has cut 2 as mirror image in fabric A and cut 2 as mirror images in fabric B. This is fabric B because I'm using it as the lining for the non-reversible version. So I'm gonna set that to the side. All right, the next thing we need to cut out in the swim lining for our shorties is the gusset. So this is the fold. It says fold right here, so you're gonna place that on the fold, and you're gonna cut one of these out in your lining or your second, your fabric B if you're doing reversible. Okay, let's push that to the side. All right, now let's pull out our main fabric. So this is our main fabric. And now we're going to need to cut the main shorties out of the main, or the shorties, I'm sorry, out of the main. It's all straightened out here. There we go. Okay, you just want to try to make sure it's as straight as possible. And you need to cut 2 of these as well, just like you did with the lining. Mirror images. This is fabric A. So that's our main shorty pattern piece, the main piece. We've got both. We have 2 in the main and 2 in the lining, and we'll set those to the side. The next thing I want to look at is the waistband. Now, if you look at the waistband pattern piece, there are a couple of things to notice. One, there are 2 cut lines. The straight cut line is for all of the options except for maternity. If you're not making the maternity, then you're going to cut the top line. You only cut the low line if you're making maternity. This is not for just low rise. This is only for maternity, all right? So I'm going to cut 4 of these out of this fabric. So you're going to ask, well, why are you doing that? Shouldn't one of them be the fabric B, which in this case, since we're doing the non-reversible, should be the swim lining? A little tidbit here. On the pattern piece itself, it says right here, I do not recommend using swim lining as one of your waistband fabrics. So I'm going to listen to Jessica when she says that, and I'm not going to use the swim lining. I'm just going to cut 4 out of this. All right, there's 2. Now I need 2 more. All right, there's 4. If you have directional fabric, you're going to want to pay close attention, to which direction it goes, and so that everything is kind of going in the same direction. All right, next I need to cut out a gusset. I've already got one cut out in fabric B, so now I'm just cutting fabric A. There's our gusset. Now, the last thing we need to cut out are our drawstrings. Now, you can use the same color that you have here, or you can use a coordinating color, however you would like to do it. So I have a gray here that I'm going to use that matches the gray in those flowers. So I'm going to use the gray. All right, now we have our 4 drawstring pieces and we are all cut out. You'll repeat this process, or I'm going to repeat this process for the next one, which is for the reversible pair. Okay, here we are finishing up day 1 here. I've got 2 different shorties that I'm going to be making. I have a non-reversible shorty and a reversible shorty. There's not a huge difference in the way they're constructed, other than, I believe, the waistband. So we're going to walk through all those steps and we're going to start sewing tomorrow in step 2. Well, that's it for day 1. Make sure you're subscribed below so that you can join us for day 2, where we will start sewing.